We have major news right now. MAGA Republicans are turning on Donald Trump in droves this evening after he embraced H-1B visas and said that essentially America does not have qualified people in certain jobs. Literally. He was talking to Laura Ingraham in a recent Fox News interview that aired tonight, and he essentially was asked, well, sir, why are you embracing H-1B visas? Because MAGA doesn't like H-1B visas. These visas help bring in foreign talent into the United States for certain high, essentially certain jobs, electrical engineering, technology, etc. And while Donald Trump said, we need to bring some of these folks in because we need talented people. And Laura Ingraham goes, wait, sir, well, we have talented people here in the United States of America. And he says, no, we don't have talented people in these respects, literally blasting Americans in the process, embracing H-1B visas, which is something that MAGA really hates. And right now, Donald Trump is being flamed all over the internet. I want you to watch this moment because I think it's an interesting shift from the president of the United States.
Never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that
the
mean
Republicans have to talk about it, Laura.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have. You don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put you.
How did we ever do it before?
Well,
I'll
give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. Making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing. It's very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
I think it's pretty stunning that not only is he pushing back against Laura Ingraham, who's like a top MAGA person on Fox News, but also he's kind of going against his own administration. If you listen closely, he was talking about a recent raid that happened at a Hyundai factory in Georgia, where South Korea was investing a lot of money into this facility. There were a lot of South Korean workers there who weren't necessarily documented. And while it was raided and a number of them were apprehended and detained by ICE officials and CBP officials, and it was mass outrage, South Korea was very upset, repatriated a number of them back to South Korea. And while the United States essentially in a lot of ways had to do damage control after that raid because of essentially the fact that it was hurting relationships between the United States and South Korea. And while Donald Trump is getting a lot of pushback right now from MAGA on the internet, because if you don't know anything about MAGA recently, MAGA has really embraced this America First moniker to the point where they don't want to bring in anything from outside of America, including people. They don't want to bring in talent for jobs from outside of America. And that has differed from what this White House is trying to do. And it comes as right now on Capitol Hill, as we speak, they are debating whether or not to reopen the government. And this is a critical part of reopening the government. Listen, a lot of Republicans are being flamed. Mike Johnson is being attacked on Capitol Hill as well, because this attack isn't just against Donald Trump. He's getting it for H-1B visas. Mike Johnson's getting it from his own party for a number of things, whether it's gerrymandering because Republicans lost a gerrymandering battle, or the fact that the House of Representatives hasn't been in session, finally is back in session starting tomorrow. But I want you to watch this from Jonah Goose, who's a senior Democrat in the House Committee or in the House of Representatives, talking to a senior Republican in the Rules Committee tonight about the budget bill, or the government shutdown reopening bill. I want you to watch this.
That's fine. Let's talk about the last 54 days. So the speaker, he said something that was fascinating. I thought it was a really interesting quote. If I can find it. Here we go. Yeah, that was interesting. So the quote is, House Republicans are doing some of the most meaningful work of their careers. They are in their districts. I don't want to pull them away from that. You agree with the speaker's comments?
I don't speak for the speaker, but I don't disagree with him. Look, we're waiting for
No. That's not the question. That's not the question.
No,
you answered it. You answered it.
I don't
okay, so Chairman,
with the speaker.
it sounds like you're saying that you agree that with the speaker. Republican members were were doing some of the most, quote, meaningful work of their careers during that 54 days. I assume you were here in Washington and back in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Right? Did you have any in-person town halls?
No.
None. 54 days?
Did several teletown halls.
Teletown halls. But you've done in-person town halls before. I know that to be true. Why not? 54 days is a long time. Not one town hall?
Nope.
Republicans are being attacked right now because they literally haven't been working for the past 54 days. They've collected a paycheck, $174,000 per year during the government shutdown. And that's Tom Cole, who is a senior Republican from Oklahoma, admitting he didn't even hold an in-person town hall in that time period either, that he held a couple of teletown halls in 54 days. But Mike Johnson has been saying that he's been working around the clock. While Republicans are not happy with him, Democrats are not happy with him. And it also comes as Republicans are saying now that they will not vote for Affordable Care Act tax subsidy extensions if we don't get abortion restrictions in the United States Senate. And Hakeem Jeffries, the House Democratic leader, made an emotional plea tonight to the House Rules Committee to consider an amendment to vote to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies. I think it's important that people watch this as well.
And we're hopeful that our Republican colleagues will join us and abandon the reckless policies that you all have pursued in creating this Republican health care crisis, including but not limited to what Republicans did in your one big ugly bill, largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripping health insurance away from at least 14 million people. Hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health clinics all across the country, including in rural America, are closing because of Republican policies. And now, because of the refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, tens of millions of people are going to suffer, will be unable to see a doctor when they need one, in every single community in this country. And so we respectfully urge all of our colleagues to support this amendment, to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits and support the American people. Thank you, Madam Chair.
There is no indication that the House is going to do this, but it does show you the urgency right now. As Senate Republicans are saying no, House Republicans are essentially saying no, and the 8 Senate Democrats who voted in line with Republicans to reopen the government, well, they're getting a lot of backlash this evening because they reopened the government on a promise for a vote that was not certain. And now we're having the real realities of what that promise looks like. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the morning with another update, so stay tuned for more.